Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been gone for a few weeks now and I'm finally back putting videos out every Fridays again. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel to get the latest videos and updates. Now that that is out the way, let's get right into this video. In this video, I am going to be talking about my newest favorite foundation, and I'm going to show you guys the routine of how I apply this foundation onto my face. I did buy this foundation when it first launched about 2 months ago, and when I first started playing around with it, I wasn't the biggest fan, but of course over time I started playing around with it more and more, and I eventually found a way of how I can apply this foundation to my face to make it look so flawless. I don't know if you guys are going to be surprised or not, but this is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I am in shade 250, so this foundation is medium coverage. However, if I built another layer on top, it actually becomes very full coverage, which is exactly how I like. I have freckles on my face, and if any foundation is able to cover that completely, to me that is a very full coverage foundation. Also, what I really like about this foundation is that it dries completely matte, which is exactly what I like because I have really oily skin, and putting this foundation on, I know that it's really going to control that oil. So if someone out there has like dry skin, I don't know if this foundation is going to be the best fit for you. I don't have that problem. I have oily skin, and so of course I want to go for something that's mattifying. So without further ado, let's get right into applying this foundation on my face. So anytime I apply foundation, I always moisturize my face. Normally I use the Tarte H2O gel moisturizer, but I am currently out of that right now, so I just put some Neutrogena face moisturizer on. Next, I always go in with a face primer. I always use the Smashbox face primer in combination with the Fenty Beauty foundation. Okay, so I have like a little dollop right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and mainly concentrate this in my T-zone area, and I really massage it into the skin, and then the rest of the face and then whatever is left on my hands, I just work it around the other areas of my face. So the Fenty Beauty line did come up with its own face primer, and I have it right here. However, I just didn't think that it did enough for my face. It didn't really blur out my pores, and my lines around my nose were still kind of visible. So time to apply this foundation. What I normally do is I just pump it right onto my face, and I get a damp Real Technique sponge and work it into the skin really fast because this foundation dries really fast. So I work it in section, and once I blended this side out, I do the same to this side, and then I'll go ahead and do the forehead and then apply an extra pump just to give it that extra coverage on my face to hide all the blemishes and freckles. Okay, so applying it right onto the cheek, and it's just one full pump. And then now I am going to quickly work this on my right side, just using dabbing motions. And then of course I'm going to do the same to the left side. Oops. And then just quickly work that into my skin. Now one pump for the forehead as well. So again, it's really important for you to like work this foundation into the skin fast because it does dry so fast. I remember the first time I did it, I couldn't blend it out anymore. Now, as you can see, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but I can definitely still see my freckles right here and the redness that I have on my face. So, of course, one more pump is really going to cover all of that up, and I'm going to do half a pump on my right side and half a pump on my left side. Now I am going to go ahead and apply concealer underneath my eyes just to give it that highlight. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in shade Porcelain. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a nice generous amount underneath the eyes. Now, using the same damp Real Technique sponge, I'm just going to go ahead and use the same motion to blend that out. Because the foundation that I'm using is so mattifying, this concealer literally dries down matte just like the foundation, which I love because it doesn't crease and it has the same finish. Now that I have blended my concealer out, I am going to be setting my face with this Banana Midnight Powder. I like using this because it gives my face that extra coverage and it really helps sets my foundation so that it can last throughout the whole entire day. So I'm just going to use a triangular sponge just like this to apply the powder, and I am going to bake underneath my eyes. So I normally add a very generous amount of powder underneath both my eyes and then everywhere else. I'm just gonna lightly set it with powder. I know a lot of people say that this foundation is so mattifying that they don't even use a powder for it. So then one time I decided to not use powder either. And then after 4 hours, I started getting super greasy. So ever since then, I've always applied a powder and it works amazing. Okay, so now that I am done, I'm gonna let my face bake for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna do my lips and I will be right back. So it's been about 5 minutes. I'm done with my lips. I'm going to take this Equal Tool fluffy brush and sweep away this powder that's been baking. Now moving on, I am going to be bronzing my face with this Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. And to apply that, I will be using my my e.l.f. brush, and I don't really know what this one's called, but it looks like this and it's really soft. I actually like it so much. Okay, so I'm just gonna dig into the product and really just apply that to my face. And then of course I'm gonna apply some to the temples of my forehead because I have somewhat of a larger forehead. So I just want to bring it down a little bit, and then I want my jawlines to look more chiseled. So I'm just going to sweep it down my jawlines. So I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose. I'm going to be taking this Inglot HD Sculpting Powder. This is in shade 505, and I'm just going to take an e.l.f. blending brush. This is for an eyeshadow, but I like to use this to help contour my nose. So I'm just going to work down the middle. And then I'm just going to lightly brush both sides of my nose. Moving on to one of my most favorite things to do is applying highlighter. Today I'm using this Ofra highlighter. This is in shade Blissful. If you guys are all about highlighters, this is a definite must-have if you don't have it already. And to apply that, I'm going to be using this Real Techniques setting brush. And then you just need a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and apply it right here. And the camera's not doing much of a good job at picking up the highlight. Yeah, so the camera's not really picking it up, but in real life, it really is blinding. And if you guys have this highlighter, you know what I mean. Okay. And then a little bit on the chin, on the Cupid's bow, and sweep it on the bridge of the nose. And then whatever's left, I'm just going to sweep it right in the center of my forehead. So I'm pretty much done with this look. The last thing I have to do is spray this LA Girl Pro Setting Spray to my face just to lock everything in and to make sure that my makeup is very long wearing. So this is it for the video. I want to do a close-up of how flawless I think my skin looks right now, but I don't have a really good camera, so it's not picking up all the details. However, what I am noticing is that, excuse me, there's no creasing whatsoever on my face, and I feel like my pores are super minimized, which I love so much. That's the reason why I feel like my face looks so airbrushed and flawless. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking now. If you guys have any questions or comments about this foundation, just leave it down below. Also, if you have this foundation, please share with me what you think of it, and if you don't have this foundation, You can always go to Sephora where they have it at and try it out. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe, like, and give this video a thumbs up before you leave. I will see you next Friday.